Now at 9, the Pittsburgh Police Department looks to expand its camera system and add new technology to help track down criminals even faster. Plus, a violent crash on I-44 overnight sends one driver to the hospital. What witnesses saw before first responders arrived.
Warmer temperatures means more people headed to the waters for float trips or kayaking. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, I'll have what you need to know before you make a splash.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh City Commissioners vote to expand the city's flock security camera system. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Pittsburgh Police Department had requested to expand its license plate recognition camera system and add new investigative software. And tonight, city leaders gave a green light to that request. Since installing 14 cameras last year, the department reports recovering nearly $500,000 in property and making 37 arrests.
If a victim identifies a suspect vehicle as a white Ford truck that went south, if that happens to be in an area that we have a camera, we can search the database, and that'll save us time from having to go door to door to try to use people's Ring doorbells or their own private security or business security cameras.
Now, the approved upgrade includes 18 additional cameras and tools like convoy search and plate swap insights to help officers identify vehicles more efficiently. Well, an SUV overturns numerous times in a crash today on I-44. The report came in at about 1:20 this morning. The crash happened near mile marker 10. Now, witnesses say the SUV overturned numerous times before coming to a stop in the median. Newton County ambulance transported the driver to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And yesterday, we reported a motorcycle T-bone collision in Joplin. The 19-year-old motorcycle driver was rushed to the hospital when the motorcycle and a car collided on Missouri 171 in North St. Louis. At the time, his condition was unknown. Since then, we have learned officials have listed the driver in critical condition at a Joplin hospital in the ICU. The driver of the car was not injured. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures fantastic. Most of us into the mid-80s during the afternoon. We'll only drop back upper 60s by morning. We'll go into low to mid-80s by noon. I think most of us will top out 87, 88 degrees during the afternoon. Tomorrow night, a few little clouds kind of skirting through, and then on Friday or Thursday, right back up into the mid-80s during the afternoon. 84 was our high today, well above our average high of 76, record of 90 set back in 1995. Looking outside, pair of 75s looks pretty good through the night, down to 69 by 7 a.m. I think our overnight low right around 68, 78 by 10 a.m. Also thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll look at that here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. With warmer temperatures and Memorial Day weekend around the corner, more people in the 4 states will be heading to the water. KOAM Samantha Walker visited Shoal Creek to learn more about what people should know before they make a splash.
Between Elk River and Shoal Creek, Southwest Missouri is a popular destination for those hoping to have fun in the water.
Probably the most popular thing to do here is drop in at Grand Falls and float to here.
Zan's Creekside Campground is just one local business who welcomes those hoping to get on the water. Offering an RV park, tube rentals, and an access point to Shoal Creek, the business has already started prepping for the influx of activity coming ahead of Memorial Day weekend.
We keep the beach clean and flat so that you can drive on it without sinking or four-wheeling out to the water's edge. And we pick up the trash, and there's a lot of it comes down in the water, so there's a lot of prep work that goes into preparing and maintaining the beach for the season. It never ends.
But whether you plan to swim, float, or kayak, they say safety should be a priority.
Nothing's going to ruin your float trip faster than a legal action that you didn't expect, or injury, or worse.
Redding's Mill Fire Protection District says they commonly respond to calls on the waterway during the season, from floaters accidentally getting lost in the dark to unexpected debris posing a risk.
There's a lot of opportunity to incorporate safety into your day on the water. Several of those would be having a float plan, having the right equipment for the river, and this includes from sunscreen all the way down to knowing the river.
The Reddings Mill Fire Protection District has a water gauge down here on Shoal Creek, which they encourage people to check online before they take to the water.
The water can be easily too high and it can be too low, where you start damaging equipment or popping your tubes. On the website for the river gauge, it will show you the flood stages. It will show you some historical data that will be able to help you make your decision on if it's a good day to float or not.
Additional tips they have include making sure someone knows where you'll be on the water at any given time. So if you need help, first responders know where to go. They add it's safest to go out into clear water, not when it's murky.
Pay attention, do a little bit of work on the front end so you have a great day on the water. And always wear your life jacket.
Reporting in Newton County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
You can find a link to the Shoal Creek online water gauge on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, seniors in McDonald County make last-minute preparations for this year's graduation. While the big day takes place this Thursday, the graduating class used today to practice for the ceremony. 230 seniors participated in the practice session on the McDonald County football field to get them ready for lineup order, seating arrangements, and the detailed plan for receiving their diplomas as they cross the stage.
Several weeks ahead of time, reminding them you have this many moments left, you have this many moments left, and to take advantage of these last few moments. And the neat thing about our kids here is McDonald County raises wonderful young people, and they have a sense of community and a sense of pride in their family.
The official graduation for McDonald County High School is scheduled for Thursday. The baccalaureate service will commence at 5:30 p.m., followed by the graduation ceremony at 7. Well, coming up, the trial of a fallen rapper.
Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend testifies in court, outlining disturbing details about alleged physical abuse and so-called freak-offs. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
But first, the number of children living in a household of substance abuse is on the rise. The shocking numbers and the health dangers for the kids involved.
Rock Show's back.
One in 4 children in the U.S. are living with at least one parent with a substance use disorder. A study published in JAMA finds the most common substance use disorders are alcohol, cannabis, and prescription drugs. 19 million children live in homes with substance abuse issues, and those children are more likely to develop physical and mental health problems as a result. Well, it's a health condition that impacts 1.6 billion people worldwide, iron deficiency anemia. And some don't even realize they're suffering. Fox's Frankie Thompson takes a closer look at the signs to look for and what to ask your doctor if you suspect you have it.
A lot of people feel tired, exhausted, fatigued, skin being pale, feeling tired, nails being brittle, struggling to get up and do your day-to-day tasks. An uncommon one is something called pica, which tends to have people chewing on ice or chewing on dirt, and this is a very uncommon one, but classic signs.
Aster Kasai with American Regent says blood loss is a common path to a health condition called iron deficiency anemia, known as IDA. She says women are most at risk of IDA. One reason is due to blood loss during menstrual cycles or menopause, and also when the body demands more iron, like during a pregnancy. She says people with restricted diets who aren't eating foods that are high in iron are also at risk. This includes vegans, vegetarians, or those with an intolerance to gluten.
And another big one is chronic conditions like chronic heart failure, chronic kidney disease, having celiac disease, Crohn's disease. These are just a few that I've mentioned, but any chronic inflammatory condition can put you at risk for this condition.
Kasai says anyone experiencing the symptoms or have those chronic conditions should ask their doctors to test their blood for IDA.
From a diagnostic perspective, it is one blood draw. And you're looking at 3 labs, your hemoglobin, your ferritin, and this will allow your provider to be able to diagnose you and get you in the right step towards treatment.
The pharmacist says starting treatment can be as simple as changing diet or taking an oral supplement commonly found over the counter. But for some people, Kasai says oral iron can cause gastrointestinal side effects.
Upset stomach, constipation, nausea, vomiting. And so one of the kind of barriers with oral iron is that tolerability for patients. So an alternate option is IV iron. It's 100% bioavailable. It goes directly into your bloodstream. So you get that full dose immediately and you start feeling better a lot quicker.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, as the weather warms, you might see more and more wild animals. Advice from the experts on how to appreciate wildlife while keeping them wild.
Nominate.
Well, of course, a warm one for us today. Temperatures fantastic across the region into the mid-80s. Very early June-like across the region. We'll start tomorrow, upper 60s. So I guess the big weather story, at least the next couple days, is going to be the warm temperatures sticking around. In fact, even warmer for us tomorrow. Low to mid 80s by noon. I think most of us 87, 88, maybe 89 degrees once you get into our western counties. Tomorrow night, we don't drop off much, bottoming out near 70 for overnight lows. We do get some clouds in here on Thursday. We could get an isolated thunderstorm or two, especially in our southern counties, but our temperature smidge cooler still. About 84, 85 degrees on Thursday afternoon. Heading into Thursday night, partly cloudy, a little bit cooler. We drop back near 60 for overnight lows. All right, your Wednesday day planner, 84 by noon. We're going to go for a high temp, 88 degrees during the afternoon. Pretty much clear skies. Not too much is going on for us right now. Temperature is still mild. 73 in Stockton, 77 in Anderson, Bonita 78, and Neodesha is sitting at 77 degrees. Through the night, we hold upper 60s to near 70, and all the way back up to 78 by 10 o'clock in the morning. Plus the winds, they're going to pick up a little bit. Southeasterly winds gusting 10 to 20 on Wednesday. By Wednesday night and Thursday, they increase 20 to 30. Not super windy, but definitely breezy out there, and they switch out of the west as we head into Thursday. Not much going on for us. Here's our next storm system building the western third of the country, getting ready. We actually have two waves, which will affect us really over the next week. So if we break it down, let's go to Friday. In the yellow, strong to possibly severe storms. They look to kind of develop on us and push east. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. On Saturday, most of the severe weather looks to be Arkansas and Oklahoma. So we're kind of on that northern fringe. Obviously, several days away, so this is going to shift a little bit over the next few days. On Sunday, most of the severe weather central Kansas, central Oklahoma. On Monday, we look to be kind of in that bullseye. On Tuesday, it starts to shift toward the east, but 4 or 5 days of potential for severe weather, at least close to the region, so we want to pay attention. All right, here's Friday. Thunderstorms really kind of getting going on us and pushing east. Saturday, mainly to our south, but we get into the action by the time Saturday night rolls around. All right, 88 tomorrow, 84 on Thursday, 86 Friday. Temperatures stay warm into the 80s. Those thunderstorm chances popping up starting late Thursday.
A lot of chances for those, for sure.
You got it.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, spring is in the air, and with it comes new life across the 4 states as animals enter their mating season. It's also the time of year when they become more visible. But as KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the best way to protect our native animals is to admire them from a distance.
Birds, we love the birds in the spring because they're coming out. That's an indication of spring. So,
and that's what locals said when we asked them what their favorite springtime animal is. And here's another.
A squirrel, because they're so fascinating. They bury their nuts over the winter, and their memory is so smart they can find it again next spring.
And these animals are all nice, but Logan Martin from Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks in Crawford County wants to remind locals that animals can only survive peacefully if we leave them alone.
But when a human interacts with wildlife, it generally decreases that animal's likelihood of survival in the wild.
And why is this?
It's not with the parent, it's not learning those natural things that a wild animal should learn to survive, how to be wary out in the wild, how to find natural food.
And not only that, Martin says it could harm you.
Canine distemper going around, so you might see a sick raccoon or something with canine distemper, and because it's sick, it's lowered its guard, and it doesn't see humans as a threat. That doesn't mean it's something you should go pet.
But what if you see an animal that looks lost?
The parent is just hanging around just outside of your view, waiting for you to leave. In most cases, it's out there feeding.
And with that said, here's a few more animal lovers.
I'm probably rabbits. Why? Because they're absolutely adorable, hopping around, eating the clover.
And according to Kansas Wildlife and Parks, if you look under a rock, you should put it back in its original position. Reporting in Crawford County, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Well, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks also wants to remind folks it is illegal to possess dead or live wild animals without the proper permit. Well, coming up, an inflation cool down.
Inflation hit its lowest level in 4 years, but you still paid more in April than you did in March. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll explain the numbers coming up.
You could win $1,000 at the Murfreesboro.
Inflation was kept in check in April, but this may be the calm before the storm as consumers and business owners brace for President Trump's tariffs to push prices skyward in the months ahead. Caroline Shively reports.
Inflation slid to a 4-year low for April in numbers just released Tuesday.
Groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no inflation.
Inflation measures how fast prices are going up, and consumer prices did go up 2.3% year over year. But products like eggs, airfare, clothing, and used cars all dropped. On a monthly basis, Americans paid 0.2% more for products in April than they did in March.
I definitely am watching prices, try to buy things that are on sale.
But the full effect of Trump's tariffs could still be on the horizon. The U.S. has a 10% tariff on all imports and even higher on certain countries and industries.
This has all been another example of Donald Trump's chaos.
Monday, the U.S. agreed to drop the 145% tax on Chinese imports to 30%, and China dropped from 125% to 10% temporarily.
I think what he's done in this is absolutely brilliant.
But the up and down tariffs are leaving some small business owners who import from China in a bind.
I feel like a yo-yo. It's like they're playing with me. I don't know whether to order 1 case of dolls, 2 cases of dolls, or 30 cases of dolls.
George, come in.
Farmers who export to China are also struggling.
There is that question of everything you're doing when you're putting this crop in, is the return on investment there?
On Tuesday, Trump again called on the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, unlikely as long as tariffs are in place. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, coming up later, a mission trip turns into a terrifying ordeal for a local pastor kidnapped in South Africa, how he survived and why his family plans to go back.
Hello, I'm Christina Valdez with KOAM News.
Sachs & Associates, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
A new documentary premieres on Netflix this Friday, and it was filmed right here in Southwest Missouri. It's called The Quilters and focuses on a group of men at the South Central Correctional Center in Licking, Missouri. The documentary shows the daily lives of inmates involved in a quilting circle inside the prison. They work together to make quilts for foster children in surrounding counties. We talked to the filmmaker about what she hopes viewers take away from the documentary.
I think we tend to have a one-dimensional view of prison and who's there, and this idea that you can be more than one thing, that you can be creative and giving and want to make a difference, and also be, in a situation that you maybe not had hoped. And also that people will kind of learn something kind of cool about quilting. So it's got a lot of different wonderful, I think it's something people will feel good they've seen, hopefully.
Well, the film has already won several awards at film festivals since last year. And again, you can watch The Quilters starting this Friday on Netflix. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Witnesses return to the stand in the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. The latest on the charges, testimony, and who's expected to take the stand next. And President Trump considers a controversial offer from Qatar. a $400 million luxury jet as a temporary Air Force One, while lawmakers from both parties are raising red flags.
The Big Bang Theory on Joplin sits atop the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, home of Connect-A-Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
It definitely turned out to be a warm one for us today. Temperatures shot all the way up into the mid-80s for afternoon highs, and it gets even warmer as we go into your Wednesday. Upper 60s to start, but look at this. As we go through the day, I think most of us are going to be low to mid 80s by noon. We should get up to 87, 88, 89 degrees. So very warm, almost hot, teetering on hot as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. We do get some clouds tomorrow night. Let's go into Thursday morning here, 6 o'clock in the morning, sitting 70 to about 71. We're going to take you to Thursday afternoon. We'll stop at the highs of the day, right around 83, 84, 85. We are going to get some clouds. I do think there's going to be some showers popping up along and south of I-44 as we go late in the day on Thursday. Day planner for you, 70 to start, 84 by noon. High temp, 88 degrees, heading outside. A great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking at downtown Joplin. 77 in Anderson, 78 in Grove, Iola 75, 74 in Lamar. So it's mild. We only drop back to about 68 for us later on tonight. Not super windy, but breezy the next couple days. Southerly winds tomorrow, kind of 15 to 20. May increase 20 to 30 as we get into Thursday morning. Then they'll switch out of the west and come down a little bit as we go into Thursday afternoon. Not much here. There's our next storm system building the western third of the country, and that will start to affect us within 2 storm systems as we really go from late Thursday into next Tuesday. Severe threat mainly to east on Friday. Saturday mainly shifts to our south, Oklahoma into Arkansas. Sunday, the greater threat to our west, but these are going to roll in. Monday's probably our prime day into Tuesday, and then this will all push off toward the east. Closer look at it. Thunderstorms pop up Friday afternoon, kind of right on top of us, and then push east. But some of those could be strong to severe. Saturday right now looks like thunderstorms mainly to our south as we are kind of under a capped environment. We are going to get some thunderstorms in here Saturday night into Sunday morning. Then Sunday afternoon, we do have the threat for strong to severe thunderstorms, but the bigger ones, central Kansas down through central Oklahoma. Thunderstorms Sunday night. And then on Monday, we're kind of in more of that prime area to get severe weather. Even on Tuesday as well. How much rain? Well, we got to see where those heavier storms set up. It's just too far out, but I would say on average, everybody should pick up probably an inch of rain as we go through the next week. 88 tomorrow, 84 on Thursday, 86 on Friday. Thunderstorms for the weekend, and then we stay in the 80s for the next week.
I may have to water my flowers, or I may get a break. I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, we'll definitely get rain toward the weekend.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, more historical figures, or at least students dressed like them, could be seen today at Central Park in Carthage. The annual Great Americans Day is a living history field trip for local schools. With the help of volunteers from the Carthage community, the event highlights the importance of historical figures and their values. Still ahead, Pittsburgh State Baseball previews its appearance in the NCAA tournament. Plus, an all-state basketball player from Galena signs with the Gorillas. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
Pittsburgh State men's basketball signs a big-time local commit today. One of the top high school players in Southeast Kansas will join the Gorillas next season. That's Galena High School senior Jack Perry, who puts pen to paper this afternoon to make things official. He's headed to Pittsburgh State. Perry was named the Class 3A Player of the Year by Sports in Kansas as a senior, and he helped lead the Bulldogs to an undefeated regular season and a 4th place finish at the state tournament while scoring 22 points and grabbing 8 rebounds per game.
Growing up, I've always wanted to play here. It was always something I wanted to do, but it didn't really come into the picture, I think, until late March, early April. Coach DePriest, he texted me and they gave me an opportunity. It was hard to say no to.
Pittsburgh State baseball hits the road for Mankato, Minnesota this afternoon. The Gorillas are ready to play in an NCAA tournament regional for the first time since 2018. We caught up with the team before they load onto the bus, and after an early exit in the conference tournament last week, they're eager to finish this season on the right note.
All the boys are fired up and ready to go. We've been talking about it all week. We were sitting in the locker room a couple days ago. Just smiles all around, man. We're just happy to be playing again after the other weekend, and we're just good vibes, man. Really good vibes.
Just excited to get back on the field and get after it. They should be free and easy. We just finished finals. That's why we're leaving at 1 instead of earlier this morning. But to have their finals done and be able to just be baseball players, it should be a lot of fun.
I think we're excited. We're happy we get to keep playing ball, especially for a lot of the seniors. We have 21 around there, so this is do or die for us.
The baseball teams for Coffeyville and Fort Scott Community College each won a best-of-3 series in the NJCAA Regionals, giving them a spot in the district tournament, and that's up in Salina, and it's double elimination. All the quarterfinal games in the winners bracket take place today. Greyhounds lose their opener 13-0 to Johnson County, so they'll play an elimination game against Cloud County tomorrow. The Red Ravens dominate the top seed Barton 11-2. This one goes final after just 7 innings, which means they'll remain in the winners bracket. Their next game tomorrow night at 7. Meanwhile, the NJCAA Softball World Series has its selection show today, and after winning a district championship over the weekend, Crowder knows its name will get called. The Rough Riders find out this afternoon they're the number 17 seed in the tournament. 20 teams total make up the field. Crowder faces 16 seed McCook in its opener on Monday. Whoever wins that game will play the number 1 seed, Florida Southwestern. This tournament is double elimination as well, so Crowder will stay alive until it picks up its second loss. We'll hear from the Rough Riders before they leave for Arizona later this week. Back here in the 4 states, it's playoff time for high school softball in Missouri. Defending state champion Diamond faces Mount Vernon in a district championship. Wildcats win that game 9-2, and they advance to the Class 2 state quarterfinals next week. Now, we don't know yet who their opponent will be for that contest. It will be, though, the winner of the District 5 championship game, which will be played tomorrow evening. Closing things out with a look at the NBA playoffs. Tonight we've got Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals between the Nuggets and Thunder. As we come on the air, Denver leads by 10 points right before halftime, and in a best-of-7 that's tied at 2 like this one, the winner of Game 5 goes on to win the series 81% of the time. All that to say that this game tonight, obviously very important. If you win, series not over, still more work to be done. If you lose, you're not finished, but it gets a lot harder.
Yeah, you're playing catch-up the entire time for
Yeah,
sure,
definitely.
and which is what Oklahoma City is doing right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hopefully they can do it. We're back with more news after this. Away, and AAA is predicting another record-breaking travel weekend. More than 45 million people are expected to trek at least 50 miles away from home. The bulk, a new high of 39 million, will hit the roads. Currently, average regular unleaded gas prices are down nearly 50 cents per gallon compared to this time last year, and that's according to AAA. Airports are also expected to see a 2% jump in flyers over last Memorial Day. Well, getting behind the wheel of a motor vehicle is one of the most dangerous things many of us do on a given day. Research shows traffic accidents are a leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds. But while many factors can contribute to traffic fatalities, aggressive driving takes the cake. And with more people gearing up for upcoming summer road trips, Gary Baumgarten reports on what you should do if you become the victim of road rage.
Memorial Day is right around the corner, and with the unofficial start of summer almost here, roads will be filling up with travelers as the busy driving season kicks into high gear. But more vehicles on the streets may be driving up your odds of encountering an angry person behind the wheel.
Road rage is an epidemic in the United States. Over 79% of U.S. drivers have been a victim of aggressive driving or even road rage.
Safety experts say aggressive driving accounts for more than 50% of traffic fatalities. If you unfortunately find yourself the victim of road rage, don't provoke the driver.
Don't yell at them. Don't return obscene gestures.
But if ignoring them doesn't put an end to the harassment,
get off the road, go to a public location with a lot of people present, stay in your vehicle, and call 911.
de-escalation is key, especially with research showing incidents of road rage shootings have been increasing by more than 400% in the past 10 years.
Our own research has shown that if there's a gun in the vehicle, people drive more aggressively.
Meanwhile, educators say it's critical drivers of all ages keep in mind these anger prevention tactics.
Taking deep breaths, listening to calming music, imagining peaceful scenes.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, coming up, Madonna, Wicked, and a fan favorite, Bear. Big names and big projects shaking up streaming and primetime on Hollywood Nation. A popular foul-mouthed bear's next chapter. A fan favorite musical gets the TV treatment, and a pop icon brings her life story to the streamer spotlight. Fox's Anna Elopoulos has a look at these stories and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
Where's my ring? Thunder Buddies return, Wicked heads to primetime, and Madonna streams in the Hollywood Nation. Madonna is teaming up with Netflix. According to Deadline, a limited series about the pop icon's life and music is in early development. The singer will executive produce alongside filmmaker Sean Levy. The project is not related to the film biopic previously in the works at Universal Pictures. John M. Chu is bringing the world of Wicked to the small screen. In celebration of the upcoming release of Wicked for Good, the director will reunite Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande for a live TV musical special. It will feature performances by the original cast, surprise guest appearances, and beloved songs from the film. The one-night event will take place at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles and air live on NBC ahead of the sequel's premiere November 21st. Joel Edgerton and Toni Collette are teaming up for a new project. According to Variety, the duo will star in Fangs, a dark comedy that follows the daughter of a powerful prison mogul whose life unravels when she becomes obsessed with a charismatic inmate. I met a girl. Nice! The Ted universe is growing. Peacock is developing an animated sequel series following the events of the original films. The show will be different than the live-action prequel series, which premiered on the streamer January 2024. The animation will bring back familiar faces, including Mark Wahlberg as John Bennett, who reunites with Thunder Buddy co-star Seth MacFarlane as the voice of the popular trash-talking bear. Amanda Seyfried is also set to reprise her role as Samantha, alongside Jessica Barth as Tammy Lynn. Bring it on. Anna Elopoulos, Fox News.
Too fun. Well, that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of an endangered spider monkey being nursed back to health at the Oakland Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.